Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao and this is One News Now. The Philippine Embassy in Turkey confirms the deaths of at least 2 Filipinos following the devastating earthquake there. The embassy has extended its condolences to the families of the victims who were initially reported missing in Antakya. The embassy adds that it has evacuated 34 Filipinos together with their spouses and children who are now en route to Ankara. Meanwhile, the Filipino contingent sent to aid in disaster relief efforts has been deployed to the Turkish city of Adiyaman. The Philippines is also preparing a second team to take over in case recovery efforts take longer than 2 weeks.
Ang aming assignment, Ed, ay sa Adiyaman. Ang initial medyo konti pa yung responders doon. May tinatawag kaming urban search and rescue kasi it's still a populated area ang tinamaan. So it's classified as urban search and rescue. Wherein ang kasama ang battery under which is yung structural collapse rescue operation. So meron tayong ganung skills, no? So ang Philippine team, meron tayong skills in detecting. So meron tayong mga machine katulad sa MMDA, it's like a earphone that we can hear people if there are like movements underneath the rubbles. Kahit wala tayong K9 pero we have the technology. Meron tayong mga breaching equipment o kailangan natin tibagin yung mga pader. Meron din tayong mga ropes.
The Department of Migrant Workers is monitoring 77 Filipino workers in Turkey who have been affected by the powerful earthquake. In an interview with One Balita Pilipinas, DMW Undersecretary Hans Kakdak said that the Department of Foreign Affairs is leading the humanitarian mission in Turkey. The agency is also in close coordination with Filipino communities in affected provinces. In the meantime, Kakdak said that the DMW has opened a hotline for families of affected OFWs in Kuwait.
Merong mga nangangailangan sila ng tulong in terms of yung paglikas mula sa affected areas at sa side ng DMW ay nagbukas tayo na yung hotline, pinaalala natin sa mga pamilya. Ata si Secretary Toots na magkaroon ng task force, kaya meron tayong 24/7 task force para doon sa mga pamilya na may OFW sa Turkey. Ang hotline po natin 1348 para tutulog lang po doon.
And in both Turkey and Syria, hope is fading fast that more survivors will be rescued as the death toll climbs to over 20,000. In Turkey, fatalities have passed the 17,000 mark, while 3,300 people are recorded dead in Syria. The disaster left people cold and hungry as thousands have lost their homes. Authorities said that more than 6,000 buildings in Turkey have collapsed and countless more were damaged. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan earlier admitted that his government's shortcomings amid mounting criticism over their initial response to the earthquake. In other news, President Bongbong Marcos and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida witnessed the signing of 7 key deals, including loan agreements for major railway projects in the Philippines. President Marcos also met with executives of Japanese companies in his ongoing working visit to Japan. Mon Gualvez with the details.
President Bongbong Marcos and Japan Prime Minister Fumio Kishida treats their first ever bilateral meeting in Tokyo as a historical breakthrough. That's because it coincided with the 50th anniversary of Japan-ASEAN friendship and cooperation. 7 agreements have been signed between the two nations.
President Marcos's visit to Japan gives us a renewed momentum for our two nations to further upgrade our bilateral partnerships we have seen in many areas over the recent years to an even higher dimension, and for us to make further contributions to the peace and stability of the region and the world.
The future of our relationship remains full of promise as we continue to deepen and expand our engagements across a wide range of mutually beneficial cooperation.
4 of the agreements are for the North-South Commuter Railway Extension Project, where 2 are loan agreements for the said project. They also signed an umbrella term of reference for a possible humanitarian assistance and disaster relief cooperation of the two nations, and memoranda of cooperation in the sectors of agriculture and information and communications technology. DFA Secretary Enrique Manalo, Finance Secretary Benjamin Diokno, and Agriculture Undersecretary Domingo Panganiban signed the contracts on behalf of the Philippines. Security has also been discussed, although there were no talks of a possible Visiting Forces Agreement or VFA between the Philippines and Japan.
I explained to the President such matters as Japan's national security strategy, and the President welcomed Japan's commitment to the free and open international order based on rules.
The Prime Minister and I have agreed to cooperate even more closely in areas of economic cooperation, security and defense cooperation, maritime security and safety, healthcare mechanisms, environmental commitments, and people-to-people exchanges.
The President earlier mentioned he's willing to discuss VFA if it will be brought up during the bilateral meeting. Yesterday, the President also sat on a roundtable meeting along with top executives of semiconductor, electronics, and wiring harness companies in Tokyo. The Philippine delegation was able to secure investment pledges that could create more than 10,000 jobs in the Philippines. The amount would be unveiled during the signing of letters of intent later today. Meanwhile, in the roundtable meeting with tourism stakeholders, the President highlighted how despite the pandemic, Japan was fourth in tourist arrivals in the Philippines.
But more than just being a major economic driver, we see the tourism industry to be a great pillar that fosters a deep love and pride of our country.
Japan is the only country that has a bilateral free trade agreement or FTA with the Philippines, the Philippine-Japan Economic Partnership Agreement or PJEPA. In 2021, Japan was the second biggest trading partner of the country. Meanwhile, around 4 p.m. yesterday here in Japan, President Marcos and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos paid a courtesy visit to Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako in Imperial Palace. This ended with the President inviting the Emperor to visit the Philippines as well. Today, the President will be attending more meetings with businessmen to help boost investment pledges for the Philippines. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
Time to take a quick break, but One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Trips from the Araneta Center bus terminal going to several provinces and nearby cities are temporarily suspended after a fire broke out in the area yesterday. Justine Punsalang with the details.
Sa mahal na rin mga pasahero po, pansamantala po sa Aurora po muna tayo sasakay.
Security of Araneta City had been working non-stop since this morning to remind modern jeep drivers that the Araneta City bus station is a no loading and unloading zone in the meantime. This comes after the fire that ravaged the old Araneta Center bus terminal. Commuters, on the other hand, had no choice but to ask and locate the temporary terminals. While most commuters were understanding of the situation,
we understand naman kung ano yung nangyari dito. So, tiis-tiis lang.
Natural lang na lumipat eh. May nangyari kasi hindi maganda eh.
Others admit that the new setup is confusing and an additional hassle to their daily commute.
Oo, bahala kasi ngayon, gaya ngayon, tinuturo. Doon daw kami sa may, pangalan nito? Sa may Aurora. Eh dati nakasanayan naman namin dito.
Magbabalit na ako ng ruta kasi ang nakakapagod, ang layo ng lalakarin kung pupunta pa akong Aurora.
Passengers of city buses and modern jeepneys were not the only ones experiencing the hassle. Divina and her 5-year-old daughter, who are bound for Antique, had been at the terminal since 4 in the morning. But since Araneta City bus station is temporarily closed, they do not know where to go. Divina said she already purchased their bus ticket last week.
I-assist po nila kami daw doon, na ihatid kami doon sa may pinaparadahan ng ng bus. Di po nila sinasabi kung saan. Kaya po hindi ako nagpumayag na umalis. Inaano nga po nila ako na sumakay ng taxi. May bayad daw po 200. Eh siyempre po, yung pera ko nakabudget lang po.
In an advisory, the LTFRB announced that modern jeeps with the route Cubao to Don Alejandro Roses Avenue may pick up and drop off passengers at Annapolis Corner Aurora Boulevard. Those bound for Doña Carmen and Marikina may load and unload at the corner of 15th Avenue and P. Tuazon. Novaliches-bound passengers may ride at the entrance of Gateway Mall along Aurora Boulevard, while those on their way to Pasig can catch a ride at the corner of 13th Avenue and P. Tuazon. Meanwhile, modern jeepneys going to Ortigas, Fairview, and Montalban are temporarily sharing terminals with city buses along General Romulo Avenue. Modern jeepney employees admit that everything is still new and confusing for them and their passengers.
Mahirap po talaga pag dito nagsasakay. Ayun nga po, hindi alam ng pasahero kung saan kami naka-terminal. Siyempre mga pasahero naghahanap din po.
According to the Quezon City Fire District, yesterday's fire left 245 million pesos in damages. While the cause of the fire is still under investigation, authorities were able to determine the origin at the sanitation barracks of the burned building's mezzanine. Araneta City meanwhile said that the Araneta City bus station will remain unoperational until further notice. For News 5, Justine Punsalang, we are One News.
Let's now take a quick look at the other stories we're watching today. Most Filipinos approve of the performance of President Bongbong Marcos and Vice President Sara Duterte. In the latest survey of the social weather stations, Marcos Jr. got a +68 and Duterte a +77 in their satisfaction ratings for December 2022. Attorney Angelo Jimenez officially takes over as the new president of the University of the Philippines. A turnover ceremony was held at the Quezon Hall lobby today, attended by outgoing Chief Danilo Concepcion. Jimenez is the 22nd president of UP. And single local government employees in General Luna, Quezon have something to look forward to on February 14. From his own pocket, Town Mayor Matt Florido is giving cash gifts or triple pay to City Hall employees who have been single for more than 5 years. Other staff members who have been unattached for a shorter period will get double pay on Valentine's Day. And for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.